Welcome back to Kicking It with Kenya. We got Tommy Grayson on the couch. Got my co-host Louis P right here. And like I said in the previous episode, this year has been freaking crazy. Like crazy. Like I can't. 2020 needs to just be done and over with. But I still feel like I'm scared of 2021. Like, because I don't know what that chick is going to come in with. But it's like, it's so hard to even pick certain topics because so much is popping up. We got COVID. We got protests. We had killer hornet beads. We had everything. And now, one piece of silver lining was the fact that we was finally going to start getting our sports back. Like, NBA was in the works of like their schedule. NFL was in the talks about their opening up, how they're going to open up. So, things are starting to try to get some sort of normalcy here. But now, we are going through even divisions within the NBA teams. So, it's like, Lewis, what the hell is going on? The hell is going on?
Well, I mean, you got some players that want to play, and some players that don't. I mean, I think it's. I don't think either side is necessarily wrong. I feel like if it depends on the reasons why, like when they say should the NBA come back or should these players play, like if you don't feel safe going out to play in a global pandemic, then don't play. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You shouldn't be forced to play a game when there's people dying. You had like Karl Anthony Towns' mother, rest in peace, she died from this. You know what I'm saying? So like this is affecting them, and I feel like even when you're coming back, like the NBA basketball is a sport where there's a lot of like you can't socially distance basketball. You're touching, you're sweating, you're only. So let's say they say if one person gets it, then
didn't that happen in the NBA?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, when Rudy Gobert got it, and then it turned out I think like half the Jazz team got it, and then other players got it, and someone on the Lakers got it. So what if that happens again? You know what I'm saying? So what if you have a situation?
And they're trying to do this in Disney, Florida, which is like.
But I mean, they're taking all the necessary precautions that they need to take and trying to do it the best they can from a business standpoint. I get it, but from a personal standpoint, I honestly speaking. I don't think they should come back this season. I think they should hold this season off and come back next season. Because I think that, let's say Kawhi or LeBron or someone meaningful like to a team gets it and they can't play. Are we really going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we're going to have them sit out because they can't play, and then we're really going to, like, whoever wins is going to have an asterisk anyway. Like, we're all going to say, well, you only won because of blah, blah, blah. So I feel like instead of trying to force it back and rush it, and then, what kind of, playing shape are a lot of the players in that haven't played for so long, been away from their teams. A lot of teams was in a good rhythm going into this, then they got out of it. And it's just so much where it's just like, just scrap the season and come back next year. But as a fan, I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I'm going to watch. Of course I'm going to watch. I'm a fan and I love basketball. So, I see it from both sides. You know what I mean? I get, entertaining and the entertainment aspect from a fan's perspective, the business aspect from from owner's perspective, and from the player's perspective, some that don't feel safe. I get that. Don't want to be away from their families or don't want to be thinking about this. And even if they want to think about, like Westbrook and other guys that's saying, with everything going on, we want to focus on some social issues. We want to focus on other things.
Yeah, because I was about to get into that because I thought like it wasn't necessarily just about COVID. So wait, before we get into that, like, how do you feel about NBA players playing this game?
I feel like everything is really subjective. It kind of with everything going on in the world with the pandemic, I do truly believe that now is the time for people to kind of step up and advocate for not only just their own rights, but for the rights of everybody. And the thing that we have to remember is that the health of the players comes first. And in a lot of ways, it's really not perceived that way to a lot of these franchises because,
Okay, because you're a wrestler.
Yeah. So, like, example being, the Nets, for example. The Nets have a set amount of quota that they have to make for their franchise throughout the year. And when there's no games, there's no content. When there's no content, no merch moves. And when no merch moves, no money gets, it's a whole cycle of effects that, is very real to a lot of people. Because say hypothetically, LeBron should catch COVID. Now it's that whole franchise. He's responsible for a lot of people's salaries and a lot of people's, source of incomes, and it's already
people watch for him.
Not only,
mostly.
Not only that, but because of him, so many people, to whatever team he's with the Cavs, correct? Yeah,
Lakers.
Forgive, I'm so out of the loop with basketball. But, yeah, LeBron's with the Lakers, so all the people who work for the Lakers behind the scenes, whether it be the publicists, whether it be the doctors who come to work, whether it be the people who work at the arena, they all rely on the stars to come and, produce content, and that content is their job, by, going to games, winning games, et cetera, et cetera. It's like any other business. If there's no product, the business ceases to exist. So in that regard, I do think that, the franchises have the rights to want the players to go back to work, because it is a job like every other business. But we have to think, realistically, there is not a known vaccine or cure being implemented that is proven to be 100% effective yet. Mm-hmm. So, and they're already talking about things like a second wave, like
Florida's having right now.
Yeah, like, the flu season that's coming up. Because think about it like this. The COVID happened at the tail end of the winter that the pandemic was instituted, in March. So think about what the impending flu season and what the impending, season should be. I would have to agree with Lou. I don't think that, any major sporting institution should, be reenacted until all the protocols are met. The same way how, phases are being implemented by the governors. I feel like, we have to protect the players. We have to protect, the people that are on the court doing the work, and the coaches and everybody in the arena. Whether we want to admit it or not, COVID affects every single person in the world, because everybody knows somebody who either has it or had it or knows somebody. Like it's like a family tree of, people affected by COVID, and every single person in the world is being affected by it. And I think it's selfish for people to think that, oh, well, they should go back, or whatever, without thinking about these are people.
With families.
Who
will be separated from those families.
Exactly. So I like sports. Again, it's a business. It's two sides to the same story. But I as an athlete, as somebody who has been, whose entire year was taken from them, and along with every other wrestler, every other athlete, I could say that I don't want to necessarily be back working routine shows until, I know for a fact that I am safe.
Right.
And there are shows going on. And I do think that that's great for the people who are, whether it be wrestling, whether it be sports, whether, not to go back to anything, but just to piggyback off of that, there are people who are going to volunteer and want to take an active leadership and, restarting sports. And that's great. But just remember, there's no concrete cure.
Right.
So,
but it's like the NBA thing is not necessarily even just about COVID, right? Because it's also like an act of protest as well with everything going on.
Right.
With the Black Lives Matter movement, like some people feel as if they shouldn't be playing. Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to those things and those acts of protest or whatever, I don't know. For me, I feel like outside of COVID, because all of that is very valid. But I feel like when it comes down to I'm the type of person where it's I feel like we all need to be all in, and I just feel like playing a sport. I just feel like right now it would only help if a lot of the NBA just decided we're not going to play due to what's going on with the police brutality and things like that happening right now. Especially because the NBA is such a big platform and it generates so much revenue. And I feel like a lot of these protests don't really get taken as seriously until money and the loss of it starts taking part.
That's the case. That's the case with everything.
Everything. Yes, it is.
That's the case with everything.
And I think that's the one thing. The thing with my people, I think the one thing is we will protest. We'll do everything in the world, but for some reason, when it comes down to that almighty dollar, it's but I could be I can make this money right now, and it's do you really need it though? Come on, a lot of us are in the street. There are some people I know who took off work to go to protest. And it's like, you mean to tell me y'all sitting there with your $1 million mansions and stuff like that? Like, come on, like, help. Like, help out. Like, you know, like, not just a donation, because I don't know where these donations are going. I know my neighborhood never changed.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like, the least you could do is be like, even with Colin Kaepernick, like, take a knee. What is the problem with this right now? Like, he's asking you to, he's not even asking you to not play the game. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's like a silent protest, and you guys couldn't even do that. Mm-hmm. So now I just feel like with this movement right now, I'm like, somebody's really asking to not play due to the movement. I doubt we're going to get that. Like, I feel like a lot of them are still going to play. And it's just like, I don't feel like right now, me personally, I feel like there shouldn't, we all need to be unified right now. I always say that this moment right now feels different because I'm seeing a lot of people like take certain stands that I have not seen take stands, and it will be only fair if the NBA, which is a predominantly black sport, just decided to be like, no. Right now.
Well, you have players that also believe that they can do both.
How?
Like you have a player like LeBron who has always been active when it comes to social issues and vocal when it comes to that, who believes that you can still be vocal, you can still, you can still have your beliefs and your supports and still play the game. And this isn't going to be something that goes away in the time that it would take them to wrap the season up. Like, it's still going to be there before and after.
What's going to be there?
All these issues that are going on.
But see, this is the thing, though. I do feel like it can be expedited in a way. The only reason why things are always there before and after is because we still do the typical norm. Mm-hmm. Like, even when that Clippers owner sat there and did all that racial stuff.
Donald Sterling.
Why did y'all play?
No, I agree with that.
Why the hell did y'all play? Oh, we're going to turn our things inside out. Like, that doesn't make sense. You still made this franchise money. Or like even with I could wear black. No matter how many Black Lives Matter shirts you're wearing, you're still making money for these like people who honestly did not donate jack shit during the whole time like this stuff was happening. So I'm not understanding why is it that like in a moment where you could truly make a stand, you want to sit there and still play? Like you could do both. Yeah, go ahead and still make my money and still do your little charity on the side. No, like I personally don't feel like. I feel like you can't do both. Like you either gonna be all in or you're not. You either going to take these hits or you're not. There's no way you could be... I feel like because like as long as the revenue is still being made, they could still... Who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can open up as many schools as you want to open up, but that's still not going to matter. Because you're still, like, you being the person that you are, and I'm not attacking LeBron or anybody who feels the way they do, but you being the person that you are, the problems could resolve a lot quicker without you making money for the people that you're making money for. And it's like, that's just my belief in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I look at it like we're not in their shoes. We really can't. It's different. They owe answers to a lot of other people that are direct. Like, LeBron, think about how many people he has to feed. Think about how many people he has to, do work for, et cetera, et cetera. And it's unfortunate that, like you said, a lot of we don't know where a lot of these, donations go to. We don't know where a lot of, these activists, what their true intentions really are. And that's the thing that scares me. So in that regard, I do agree with what you're saying that, they should more or less be taking a stand in protesting, the injustices and whatnot. That being said, we don't know what goes on
behind closed doors
in the locker room, in the meetings,
their contracts.
Their contracts. It's a whole. We can't play armchair quarterback with that because at the end of the day, it is a business. So, and business and personal beliefs, what they say, they don't mix, and when they do, it turns into a volatile situation. So, yeah. I think it's definitely I'm gonna allow Chris to talk.
We got Chris to jump from behind the camera to come in this conversation.
I just wanted to ask, so what do you want them to do? Like, I understand, if I take your logic all the way out. So when Colin Kaepernick did his thing, he was trying to get the world, NFL, United States, the world, to see the injustice happening from police brutality. So if we follow that, so you said when that happened with the Clippers, why did they play? But what happened was, if they didn't play, what did you want to happen?
I don't know, I just felt like, for some reason, I just felt like when they played that game, and you heard the owner basically calling y'all what he said. I don't want to say it, but it's like basically calling up a call. It's like by you playing, I'm like, yo, where was your value in you?
You want them to put the squeeze to the NBA by basically saying, listen, we don't want to play for this man, and until he's gone, we're not going to play.
Right. Like, where's your value for you in that moment?
But what I'm saying is, even though they did play, that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Within a week, he was gone. You know what I'm saying? And they were still able to make their money, and they still got the owner out. So it was a win-win. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
It was a win-win only because they got him fired. But come on, let's think about all the other situations that happened where, like, you sat there and did what you did and then, like, it swept under the rug or whatever the case may be. Like, a lot of the time, I feel like the only reason why that man was fired was only because the situation, it leaked. But there's a lot of owners, and I know y'all know there's a lot of people that feel the way they feel about y'all.
But that's on the players, though.
Right.
That's on the players. Because we can go back to Raul Rock, right? From playing on the Golden State. Remember, he didn't sit for the national anthem because he was Muslim, and he's like, I'm not gonna stand for that. And then he was blackballed. He was out the league within 2 years. But it's on the players. So if you know there's owners or people like this in the back office, you have to bring that up.
Right, but that's the thing. Where is it in the forefront? And then if somebody like that, like a Colin Kaepernick, is somebody that takes the stand, and a lot of people don't follow him, a lot of people aren't doing the things you did, then you left that man out there to dry.
This is true.
And that's the problem I have. Because, like, when people say, oh, my God, these protests are getting too extreme, it's like, but when we did the silent protests, also, like, why'd y'all leave that man out there to dry? He did something that was like going towards, I'm showing respect for the army. This is all about police brutality. Yeah. And it's like, here are all these other black players. Only a handful of them was actually doing it with Cap until, oh my God, people losing their job, time for me to step back. No, like, why are we leaving this man out there to dry? And now it's just for the NBA to say, we apologize. We was completely wrong. I felt like if more people had his back, we would have got that faster. This man would not have lost his job the way that he did.
Well, again, the life career or the lifespan of an NFL player is only 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I understand they had 3 years to make generational wealth. Mm-hmm. So when they don't want to take that stand, I can see both sides of it. Will I be able to do that? I don't know, because I'm not in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying before. It's it's kind of hard to armchair quarterback when it's like you said, the life expectancy or the average, the lifespan of an NFL player is 3 years. For NBA, it's 2. And not for anything, how many players are going into these sports without college educations or without actual backgrounds? They're there to make the big paydays, make as much money as they can, so that after the fact, if they're not still playing, they could turn around and reinvest that money into their communities. And I think that's kind of what you were trying to get at was the redistribution of wealth, within that time.
But when it comes down to where we're at right now, because the topic is about NBA, should they be playing, blah, blah, blah. So what I feel is, if we take, like I said, if we go all the way back to Colin Kaepernick, what he was doing is to put a light on police brutality. But now with NBA players, they don't have to put that light because the light is already there. You understand what I'm saying?
From the work of us.
Yeah. So what can they do if they stop playing? You know what I'm saying? If they stop playing, do you think Congress is going to pass laws that will ban chokeholds? They already tried that. It didn't work. So what I'm saying is... When
was it ever a time that, as a collective, we moved as one?
Players and society?
When?
I would say back in 65 when they had the big, meeting in Cleveland with, Jim Brown and all them. But what I'm saying is, if they play, you know what I'm saying... The only reason I see that they shouldn't play is to get results. Like I said, if they don't play, it's not like they're going to ban chokeholds. Congress is still not going to pass anything. But if they don't play, they can get results in the NBA. So if we're not going to play until there's only 10% GMs, black GMs. Mm-hmm. So if we're not going to play until there's 20%, let's say 75%. Because in the NHL, just put it this way, there's 90% white athletes in the NHL, but there's 100% GMs. And in the NBA, it's like 90% black, but there's only 10% black GMs. We wouldn't accept that if there was 90% GMs in the NHL. So why are we accepting that in the NBA? So I understand if they don't play for those type of results. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't play because they're going to try to change the laws, it's not going to happen.
But even what you just said, if that is the problem, even within the NBA, why is it that nobody's taking a stand for that either? They're not even trying to not play for that. And it's right come on.
Everybody wants to be king. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be the head of the movement. I think Kyrie is being Kyrie. We got to put the names out there. Kyrie's being Kyrie because, he's at war with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want to see him get all the light. And that's the bad thing, because even in the 60s, I had Malcolm X, you had, Martin Luther King Jr. In the 70s, you had the Black Panther movement. And even though they had different ways, they were trying to move. And it wasn't like, I'm jealous of this person because I want to be the head. No, it's like, Malcolm X, I'm not going to take this bull anymore. Yeah. I'm not going to take a baton against the head. Right. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King Jr. had his way. I feel like we can make these strides if we just, pray on it. I don't know about that, but pray on it. But
he wasn't like that until at the end.
You know what I'm saying? But what I feel with Kyrie, this is what I feel. He speaks too general. There's no specifics of what he wants.
There's no plan in place.
And I feel like he's just doing it because I want to take LeBron's place.
I don't know. You know what? My thing is this. Tupac said it best. Because he would say, I may not be the guy, but I will spark the brain of somebody who can be that person. And I feel like no matter what, I'm never going to sit here and be like, Kyrie shouldn't say the things he said. Because maybe he's saying something general, but somebody should be like, he's at least speaking and he's saying something general. Somebody else can meet him halfway and formulate some sort of plan. But for him to be like the only one out there speaking the same thing that he's speaking, and nobody else is trying to be like, all right, so let me sit down with homie and figure out a plan or something in place. Like, person can't be everything. Some people are everything. That was Malcolm. We had Martin. We had Angela Davis. We had all these people back in the day. We had Huey P. Newton and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, all right, he's speaking. He's putting himself out there, just like Colin Kaepernick. I'm taking a knee. I'm putting myself out there. But it's like everybody wants somebody to be the person, but nobody ever wants to follow that person anymore either. The thing that was different back in the day, Malcolm was Malcolm, but he had a whole force behind him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, Martin was Martin, but he had a whole force behind him. People be like, oh, we don't have no leaders. Cap was a leader for y'all. Where were y'all at? Like, I just left that man to dry. Like, even like Kyrie, he might not... listen, he say some outlandish shit. That flat earthers thing, he lost me. Like, he say some outlandish shit by far. But with this right here, he's not saying nothing wrong. He may not got a plan, but he's not saying nothing wrong. Why?
You only got a month. You only got a month. So you have to formulate. You only have a month. So don't go out there talking out your neck. I mean, try to have a plan. Like his cohort, Avery Bradley, he has a plan. He has steps that he wants the NBA to take. And I could get behind that. And then hopefully by just putting it out there and putting it in the air, the NBA be like, yo, we got to do this. Or, they might strike on us. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have a plan. If you're just saying we got to do this, and to go back a little bit further, for those who might not know, he only came up with this not playing when NBA said you can't go down to the bubble. When he saw that he couldn't be a star by sitting on the bench and chilling and cracking jokes while his team is playing, when NBA said no, you can't go to the bubble. If you're not playing, you can't go to the bubble. He was like, okay, we all shouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? So right there, it just...
So you're thinking it's like the
selfish. That's why I say it's about him going at LeBron. It's not him coming out with a plan about pushing the agenda, the black agenda forward. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes down to any of these movements, you always kind of like what you said before. It's like everybody might have ulterior motives when it comes down to certain things. We don't know if, like, we say things about donations. We don't know the people behind these situations. But at the end of the day, him saying what he is saying is still not something that is wrong, even if it is self-motivated in his own way, his own ulterior motives to be better. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, he's still saying something that we all have been saying for years.
I think what Chris was trying to get to more so is not necessarily saying that what he's saying is wrong, but it's like you're saying something, but you don't have any realistic plan on how to achieve it. It's like anybody could say something just for the headline or attention, but it's like, so what are we going to do? What's the end game? What's the plan? What can we realistically do? Not just saying, oh yeah, we should do this, start our own league. You know what I mean? Just realistically, like how can we come to, in order to come to some sort of compromise? It's like, good. So what's the groundwork for the compromise? What is it that we are trying to compromise on? Like we shouldn't play. Well, why? Well, what's the reason? What do you want to be done? Like, what do you want to be accomplished from that?
But is there anybody in here? Do we know if there's any other player like who's speaking about this stuff as well? Like with Kyrie, anybody who's doing the brainstorming?
That's what I'm saying. Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley plays on the Lakers. He's a guard. And he's with Kyrie, and he has specific points that he wants the NBA to take. So when I say I can support that, it's just like being a progressive, any of those who are in politics. So I see Kyrie more of a Bernie Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need single payer. And then I see Avery Bradley more as a Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, yeah, she always had the plan.
Has the plan.
She had
point
the plan.
by point, this is how much it's going to cost. And that's what I don't get from Kyrie. And then if you know you don't give that, let Avery and players like Avery or, people who want to step up in that space, in that void, let them speak. And it's okay.
And he just be the background.
Exactly. Just like, I support this person because this person, you know what I'm saying? But no, he wants to speak just to get the attention. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe he's like, for all we know, I don't know this person, but for all we know, do this person want to be the speaker? Sometimes you are the biggest. I don't know who that is, but I know who Kyrie is. You know what I'm saying? So I know my point. If I'm going to pass to, I don't know who Avery Bradley, what's his name?
Avery Bradley.
I don't know who Avery Bradley is, but I know who Kyrie. So I'm just saying, so you could be the person using your platform while I create the plan.
But that's the same thing because how many people, some people because he did go to the Super Bowl, how many people really know Cap before Cap took the knee off? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, because he went to Super Bowl. But how many people would get behind Avery Bradley? You know what I'm saying? Even though if he took this stand on his own, people would not have known him before that. But after this, they would really know him. You know what I'm saying? So just let him have his light.
But is he speaking?
He is speaking. He's putting out these points. You know what I'm saying? And he has, like, when he can raise the consciousness, and then you have Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard's getting a lot of light because it's his uncle who's actually the prosecutor in the case of the man, the cop who shot the guy at Wendy's. That's his uncle who's being the prosecutor. So there's players who can take the space and take the void. I just wish that he would let that happen organically. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have to come to Perkins, whoever knows, my man Perk putting it out there on air that, he only had this idea after the NBA said you couldn't go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that should happen.
But I still don't like when people diminish it in that way either, because like I said, I don't like when people who are actually brave enough to say the things they say, and then there's other people be like, oh, but you only said it because of blah, blah. I don't care what he's saying it for. He's saying something that's actually very valid right now. So if we do have people out there who still form a plan, all right, so why are we still not following them? They have the plan. They have the things they want to achieve within this movement.
I think it could happen. I think once it's out there and enough players get behind it, and I think the bullet points, like I said, there need to be more GMs, and they have to be, the NBA as an association has to be open to more black ownership. You know what I'm saying? We know that's not going to happen in the NFL. Even though there's been people, Puffy, you want to buy the Panthers before the Panthers on the board. But, that's not going to happen. But in the NBA, this should happen. Mm-hmm. There should be more black GMs. There should be more black owners. You know what I'm saying? There's conglomerate groups that can actually put up the money to buy teams. But, I think it will happen in the next month.
You think? But it's like the whole issue is, should they play?
Like I said, for me, I think they should play. I'm a fan. Louis is a fan. I feel they should play.
So you're saying they should play based on fan?
Yes, but I feel they should play because, like I said, if we're going back to what Cap was doing, Cap took a knee because he wanted to shed a light on the situation. The light is out now. By them not playing, it doesn't shine a light because the light is out now. So if they don't play, it's not like the laws are going to get changed. The only laws they can actually get changed by not playing
He's saying you can't beat them, join them type.
Yeah, so
he's saying if I'm correct, you're saying like because the light is already shed, no more growth can come from them not playing.
No, that exactly. That won't be the result of that. The only result of not playing is if they say we're not going to play unless next year there's going to be X amount of GMs. You know what I'm saying? And I think they could do that.
So you think the protest can only work if it's targeted per sport?
No.
Not like a law Congress thing.
No, what he's saying is that Cap did what he did at the time that he did and was shit on for it at that time. But now, 2020, due to the pandemic, due to the George Floyd thing, that light is already there. So what he's trying to get at is that the players who are sitting out, it's not doing anything for the movement by sitting out.
Let's look in the past. We always can learn from the past. So what did Martin or the Pullman of the cars, the trains, what did they do by boycotting? Because they wanted to take away this freaking segregation of the cars. Mm-hmm. So, hey, we can't sit amongst white people. We're not going to take your cars anymore. And once they saw that the revenue wasn't coming in, they were like, okay, we're going to take the segregation in the cars. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing goes from the buses. We're not going to use the buses anymore. We're going to, get together. We're either going to walk to work or we're going to find cars. We're going to carpool. And what happened? Within months, no segregation on the buses. So if they don't play, it will only affect their sport. Not playing doesn't affect America. It only affects their revenue of that sport. You know what I'm saying?
In other words,
so
what happens
there
in
won't
the
be
NBA
any money
isn't affecting the NFL because the NFL is going to go on with their own objective.
No, even bigger than sports. Them not playing is not going to push, is not going to have the government by the balls be like, yo, NBA's not playing. Oh, I guess we got to play as police brutality.
I don't know.
It will only affect the people that the money. So the owners will be like, damn, we're not making any money off these. We got to make sure there's more GMs. We got to give them what they want.
What it could affect, and I think this is where you may be trying to get at, is trying to put the squeeze on the owners of the NFL to help with these situations.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, we as players, we make the NBA money. And we want the NBA to put some of this money back in our communities as well. Y'all are billionaires.
For real.
You can spare something. So if we don't play until that's addressed, like the NBA, the NFL, that was part of the things with Cap also. You know what I mean? The NFL had a partnership with Jay-Z with prison reform, like $100 million partnership with Jay-Z prison reform. They're donating to the Black Lives Matter movement now. You know what I mean? Even Roger Goodell freaking apologized. He didn't apologize to Cat, but he admitted that he handled the situation wrong. So I think what you're trying to get at is that the NBA players sitting out trying to put the squeeze on owners to do something where it's just like, you guys are making millions and billions off of us. And y'all probably sponsors to these campaigns
of a lot of people too.
So it's like, so we want you guys to be...
Because if you want to employ us black people, do something for the black community
I think that's where you're trying to get. That's what I'm talking
about.
And I feel NFL has way more weight. I feel...
Oh, yeah, by far.
That's what I'm saying. So if all the NFL players if they were to boycott, I think those owners will put more on the elected officials.
I just feel like...
I agree with that in the context of, I do believe that, like, because the NFL is a bigger business than the NBA in the regards of how much money...
The revenue of
correct. The Super Bowl example is the biggest, and like...
So
if they were to protest that, and there's no Super Bowl... It would literally, it would cripple the economy worse than it already would within the world of entertainment.
Money. And NFL has more money to affect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So NBA players not playing, you might feel a ripple. The owners might put some type of pressure on the elected officials. But no, if the NFL players stop playing, then you'll see the actual force.
I don't know. I just feel like the reason why, and I'm like, I know like this is definitely going along, but I just feel like how I took it, it's like my whole thing is to say things like, oh, it's not going to put the squeeze for laws to change. I think that's false, because even in this moment right now, all these protests happening, the fact that all of a sudden chokeholds are banned, plainclothes cops are banned, this is banned, that's banned, that's banned.
The state.
Yeah, the state, but it's still like us common people. And the amount of people who are finally out there and protesting got some things done.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful as hell. And it's fast, because they're realizing, oh, this is day 12 of this protest. Oh, they not letting up. That's why I said I feel like this time around is different. And I just feel like a lot of things because when it comes out, and this is probably going too deep, but it's like when it comes down to like black people and black dollar in general, if we was our money, our voice, our influence, if we all stood together one good time, take a week of us not working, a week of us calling out, a week of us not spending. Do you know how messed up this whole place would be? Like just one little week. And I just feel like that's the thing. Like, I feel like when we finally got the juices of flowing, like of something like happening, like right now, I think jump on this wave, because right now us common people are hitting the fucking floor. Like we are on it, we are doing the damn thing, and right now I think now is the time for y'all to just sit there and be like, you know what, we ain't gonna play, we're gonna join this. We're gonna be here, we're gonna use our celebrity, because even like when it comes down to protest, the minute they hear J. Cole in the riot, cops ain't doing shit. They're not trying to be the ones to kill J. Cole. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the minute they hear, oh, we got Wale in the crowd, no rubber bullets today. Like, you know what I'm saying? You said what?
I think you might need some.
Oh, shit. No, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like when you hear celebrity influence in a way that, like, they're in there with us, they're not doing, they're taking stands, taking knees, taking whatever, all of a sudden, like, things just get done a certain way. They don't care when they kill a commoner. But if you know that there's somebody with influence in that crowd, or you know there's somebody with influence even watching or streaming, and you know it's broadcast to millions or whatever the case may be, it's handled a little different.
That's not necessarily true, because look at the world on fire today because of George Floyd, and he was a commoner.
No, that's because, like I said, like that was streamed, and like that was streamed. When I say like on fire, it's like that affects after. Yeah. Like when you see people on protest and they're like, oh, you know, J. Cole is there.
Yeah.
they're not going to give that crowd that same force if J. Cole is there.
They're
not going to, I mean, obviously, like, any death that went viral, like that Alton Sterling or even Sean Bell before the cameras, it's going to have effect, but how the protests are handled after, when they know that there's somebody of influence there, then it's like, it's different.
I think the protests are a culmination of everything, and I think that the Floyd incident, like, they're protesting everything. They're protesting the pandemic. They're protesting the fact that we're being cooped up and there's no money to be made, but all of these big business owners are still cashing their checks and getting their write-offs and everything and still making money. But like you said, it's the common folks who, are the ones on unemployment or not getting the unemployment. So I forgot where I was going with this, but it's
like a culmination of everything.
I do believe it's a culmination of everything.
Like a big umbrella, like a big boosh is finally there.
This is a lot of people say this like the progressive movements with everything going on with the Black Lives Matter. People are saying it's how many years in the making?
Yeah, like, because even with the COVID situation.
Yeah,
like, even with the COVID situation, like, Black people are dying at an alarming rate, faster than other races. Because, like, neglect of the hospitals. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of, like all of the things that we just end up falling short. Huh? Just the NBA. But it's just, like, I just feel like when it comes down to the NBA or anybody with any type of influence, like, I feel like sometimes there has to be a time where everybody just stops in order for us to really progress and move forward. And that's why I just feel like, yes, I understand what you're talking about with Kyrie just spitting out stuff without a plan. But then if you know people with the plan, then all right, like, let's follow it. It's there. So now what's your excuse? There's still a plan. So it's like, either way, we shouldn't be playing. That's just how I feel.
I mean, the smartest people understand that. I mean, even Elijah Muhammad saw the gift in Malcolm. Mm-hmm. He was the orator. So I'm going to take him and put him as the face of the movement. I think there has to be some modesty or, something in Kyrie to be like, okay, this could be the face of the movement. Let's put him. And then everything will go smoothly.
But even if he's not the one to put the person in the face, like I said, when we talking about LeBron was, like, I guess one of the people that's to hold up and want to play. Put the face on that person.
Like you said, there's always someone who has ulterior motives or self-motivated. LeBron's at the end of his career.
He wants to get his chip.
You know what I'm saying? He's chasing the ghost.
But even like Lewis said, no matter what, it's going to be an asterisk to that chip.
No, I don't believe that. Now, me and Lewis can go back and forth on that. Because we can always say, well, does Toronto own or do they deserve the championship last year? Because Kevin Durant got hurt. Just like someone could get COVID, it's like an injury. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So if someone gets COVID, it is what it is.
So it's like he's going to sacrifice the whole movement for a chip? He's going to sacrifice the whole movement for a chip?
He doesn't look at it as a sacrifice to a movement. He looks at it as
I can do both.
He can do both. He can still be, and like I said, I have my personal opinions about LeBron on the court, but off the court, I don't have a bad thing to say about him. He's been one of the more vocal celebrities about a lot of these issues before it was trendy to be so. You know what I'm saying?
That's why he can do that and be beyond reproach, because he set up the school. You know what I'm saying? He did all this behind the scenes for years. So for him being selfish at this time, it's like, okay, it's LeBron. We gotta let it be, because we know he's been doing that. He's actually been changing the actual community. You know what I'm saying?
People say, I mean, not to get off topic, but they literally said LeBron, did more for Cleveland than any other athlete ever to go there.
I don't know. I just feel like I know celebrities do a lot, and I still feel like y'all do small things. And it's appreciated. But I just feel like, imagine how much you can get done when it's a collective. And when it's all hands on deck.
That's a topic for a whole nother podcast.
That's obviously a perfect world. But not even so perfect, because it's something that Malcolm been preaching for a while. Conserve the dollar, put it in, invest in the Black-owned, whatever. And I guess we're going to get into that on another topic. But it's just like, I just feel like, as a collective, a lot of things could surprisingly get done way faster. And that's just, I guess that's where I am with it. And, But it's like, oh, sorry. We had a phone from behind the camera. No, that was definitely good with Chris hopping the camera. But, it's like, we could go all day with the NBA topic. But obviously, I guess we will always be at like a standstill on how we view it. But until next time, share your opinions, like, subscribe, share. And until next time, peace.